How to have fun, anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Woohoo!
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Hair thinning can happen for so many reasons. Whether it's stress or hormones or anything, at Nutrafol we've learned that real change starts below the surface. Our hair growth supplements take a whole body approach and target the key root causes of hair thinning, so you can see visibly thicker, stronger hair in 3 to 6 months.
Hair growth starts from the inside at Nutrafol.com. That's Nutrafol.com.
Steering wheel. Lots of steering wheel here. Give him steering wheel. Hey, steering wheel. Somebody tell him to give it to him. Come on. Whoa. You like my bass? You like it? How the that's possible?
I'm driving like a grandma.
Get that, Ralph? Did you hear me?
I'm on radio.
Ralph, acknowledge.
Now, come on, close it down and kill him. We've got a lunatic on the track down the Hanger Station.
Boys and girls, your attention, please.
Hello and welcome back inside the Perk for Mayor for podcast number 919. This is Todd.
No, Todd, not now.
AKA Negative Camber. You know why I've asked you here.
You must convince the villagers that I'm harmless.
It's really not a big ask. It's not. Because tonight I have a lot of fun for you. Why? Because, well, first of all, let me bring in my co-host. The first one you know, all the way on the right coast, nestled in our nation's capital, or close enough to it to throw a stone at it. You know her, you love her, the lover, the redoubtable Grace! Grace, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, Todd. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. And then also, Grace and I, we don't stop there. No, the fun doesn't end there, folks. You know who our other co-host is.
From out of the wasteland. He's bad, he's beautiful, he's crazy. It's...
Hello, everybody. This is Paul Charles, the International.
It's Paul. Paul, how are you?
I'm okay. Yes, I don't know. I feel upset I didn't get a disco theme tune.
I've got
it. You know,
how about a holiday?
Kind of feeling it still. It's kind of a...
I could use this one for you.
Yeah.
When I think holiday cheer. Holiday cheer.
Exactly. That's basically my middle name.
It is.
Holiday cheer.
Paul.
Yeah,
Christmas
holiday.
Charsley.
Yeah.
Yes.
I always thought for a long time
every day is Christmas.
It was Paul Guinness Charsley, but you know.
Yeah, no.
It's not.
I do the black and tans though.
Oh,
so.
you're black and tan. Yeah. Okay. Fine.
Yeah, but I cut my Guinness with an IPA, not with a hop, which is probably sacrilegious, but
probably is.
Good anyway.
It's because it's an IPA. It's always sacrilegious.
It is. It's a good thing this is an American
and
podcast
so it begins.
and not British, or you'd be.
We haven't even started our grievances. Grievance 1, IPA, all of them.
Oh my! Hey, speaking of tonight, before we get started, I do want to say thanks to our Patreon supporters and let the Patreon supporters, like our very own Dave.
Hey Dave.
Hey Dave. Hey. You can join us live while we record these podcasts if you're a Patreon supporter. So we wouldn't and couldn't do this podcast without our Patreon supporters. Big thank you. Also, last week, because we took a week off, I beavered away and worked on a new TPF stories. So if you haven't heard that, that's on the same RSS feed as this podcast. So be sure to download and listen. I hope you guys enjoy. They take a lot of time to research and do, but I hope you guys enjoy those. And there's a new TPF story. So in the RSS feed.
It was good. I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks. And so anyway, that's up there too. And but tonight we have something special since it's the off season. And this is really Paul's idea. You know, Paul's the creative around here.
Yes, that's once every year.
Grievance number 2. Paul's already getting too much love, and we've only been 5 minutes into the show.
And let me throw one.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Paul shouldn't have any ideas.
No, Paul can have plenty of ideas. That's fine.
Okay, gotcha.
And the thing about Paul, let me throw one other thing. I saw some spy shots of the back side, the back end diffuser of that Valkyrie for Le Mans, and I sent sent those to Paul, and I said, "Hey, Paul, sexy butt." that diffuser looks awesome on the back of that Valkyrie.
Yes,
so.
It does. It does.
And just so
stay away, Ferrari. Don't even think about touching that thing.
And just so Aston Martin knows, Paul and I are like this. We're buddies, right? He didn't even share those pictures with me. He didn't even show me the diffusers.
I couldn't. I had to use the dustbin lids like they used to on the fan car.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. How'd you like them apples?
I know. Just when you think you're tight with a guy.
Not that tight.
Not that tight, Grace.
No.
Nope. So anyway, Paul had this great idea. He said, "Hey, how about for this podcast, we all three get on, and the first thing we're going to do is we're going to go through the drivers of 2024, and we're going to offer what we feel are the F1 drivers' doppelgangers." Or as Paul might say in his German accent, Doppelganger, right? Because that's kind of how Paul rolls. Jawohl. Nein, nicht schießen. Yes. So that's what Paul's going to do.
That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah. And so Doppelganger, so, your evil twin or your ghostly twin, or more to the point, who do we think the driver's sort of, I kind of tended to go with movies, right? So who do I think the driver's movie doppelganger might be, or actor, or whatever it might be? For example, I'm just throwing this out there. Paul came up with this, and I sent a picture of Jean-Pierre Sarti and Louise Frederickson from the movie Grand Prix, next side by side. And Paul said, no, that's Toto and Susie Wolf. Right?
It is.
So that would be their doppelgangers, right? Or you might think that Fred Vasseur is more, his doppelganger might be Jean Reno from Ronin, right? The French actor, Jean Reno. Right? You get the point, right? Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the mission. And then after we do that, hang in there. Don't bail out of the podcast, because after that, we're going to air our grievances. We've each picked 5. Well, I picked 5. I followed the rules. Grace and Paul have more. But we're each going to share our grievances on F1 this past season. So this should be fun.
Grievance number 3. Why are Paul and Grace such overachievers?
Right.
We got a lot of grievances, apparently.
Why do I follow the rules and Paul and they, they get to do whatever they want with impunity?
That's right.
Yep.
Okay. All right.
Just stand in line, Todd. We'll just push in front.
I know. It's cut in front. It's like the customs line in Brussels.
Oh, jeez.
Stand there
if you don't cut in front,
it's insane.
You're there for like 2 weeks.
Yeah, it's insane.
Yeah.
All right.
It is insane.
Enough of my travel woes. All right. I won't be making that trip anymore either.
Yikes. Ouch.
Yikes,
yeah, that hurts.
Grievance number 4.
Yeah.
Belgium companies.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thanks for the holiday cheer. Appreciate it. So anyway, let's start off, since Grace, let's have some respect and honor, since it was his idea. We're going to start off with the first doppelganger from Paul. What do you got, Paul?
Okay. Because we were talking about him before the podcast, our beloved Yuki Tsunoda. So, Yuki, I'm going to give you the doppelganger of Ted, the swearing bear. He's loved, he's adorable, and has
he has a potty mouth.
A penchant to swearing and causing a ruckus. And he only bites kneecaps because that's as tall as he is. Right. So, obviously, I've got a lot of troubles with Yuki, but the swearing was the first thing. Apart from the cute Yuki, he's so cute, and then all of a sudden you just hear what comes out of his potty mouth.
Right.
And there was just only one doppelganger I could pick, and that had to be Ted.
I know. Right when he came in, he thought, Yuki, he's a cute guy, and this is great, and he's a quick driver.
He's funny.
And I remember, the first radio, you had trouble with the car, and it ran back to the team was, I will rip off your head and poop down your neck. And I was like, holy crap, who is this guy?
Yeah, and 5 years later, he's not that different.
I know, he's not that different.
Yeah.
Like, holy cow.
He says he's different.
There's a 12-step program for that, Yuki.
I mean, he may be different, just not in that area, right?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah,
It probably like works out more, or eats better.
It takes his frustrations out the gym, man.
I'm just saying, like, there are lots of areas. If somebody said, "I've changed," they could have changed.
I swear I've changed.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus terms and conditions apply.
Zaxby's Sensation Salad is so much more than a plain old salad. It's a salad. Which begs the question, at what point does a salad stop being a salad and become a salad? Is it when you add Zaxby's fried chicken to it? Crunchy wontons? Asian slaw? Citrus vinaigrette? Teriyaki glaze? Sweet and spicy sauce? Or is it when you top it all with a handmade perfectly fried egg roll? Without a doubt, the egg roll. The Sensation Salad, only at Zaxby's.
And he still wonders why he doesn't get promoted to Red Bull.
Right.
Well,
Mm-hmm.
Yep. All right, Grace. Who was your first doppelganger?
So, all right. So my first doppelganger, I went with Lando Norris.
Yep.
Now I went more on a vibes-based doppelganger.
Okay.
Because I think if we were going to go with a looks doppelganger, I'd have to go with your boy Patrick Mahomes, since they have matching haircuts, right?
Yes.
But I was thinking, like, more when I think of Lando Norris, what do I think of? Kind of like you were saying with Yuki. Like, I think of swearing. I think of he's cute, whatever. So what are my vibes? So I think the thing that has annoyed me the most this season about Lando Norris is that no matter what that guy does, since Miami, there's always been some reason we're just waiting for Lando to do this. And if he just does this, then he'll be okay. And if he just does this, we'll accept him. And if he just does this one other thing, then, he'll be great. And it reminded me very much of Sebastian Vettel back in the day. Not because they're both World Drivers' Championship, world champions, but because I think Sebastian Vettel, and I definitely perpetrated that, got a lot of that, like, well, he can only win if he's in the lead. He can only do this if he does this. And if only he does this thing. And I we do it a lot to sports, athletes, but I think, Lando, give it a break. What else are you going to throw at the guy? The guy's good. He's solid. The team's behind him. Let it go. He's good.
So what you're saying is Lando just needs a blow and diffuser to win a championship.
And a flexi wing. He's fine.
Yeah, okay.
Little flexi. It's good. I just think, to me, it was just like, I mean, for a long time, that's all everybody said. Well, every time he's on the pole, he can't hold it. Well, the same things were said about Vettel.
Okay.
Yeah, worked out.
That's good.
All right.
I like that.
All right, Todd, what do you got?
Let's see. What do I have? I have, let me pull up here. My first one.
Up as he goes along here.
Right.
Let's see. I've got, let's see. Who can I look like? Hey, look! See my pop socket?
Look at you!
See, look at that's a real pop socket.
Yeah, that's cute.
Yeah, it's for YouTube.
17-year-old girl. Pop socket. What the hell?
Well, it's the large phone. It's a little unwieldy, Paul. It's a little unwieldy for me.
All right, just keep your nails done there.
Well, my daughter does those. Grievance number 5. Okay, so my first one was Charles Leclerc.
Okay.
And at first I was thinking Timothée Chalamet in Dune, right? And I was thinking, well, that was good. But then I thought that's going to bring up all kinds of problems because we already have a Paul. And Paul Charsley, you shall be known as Paul Muad'Dib. And Paul's name is a killing word. But for he is, how can this be? For he is the Kwisatz Haderach. Paul, did you not watch Dune?
Nope.
You did not.
You're a Star Wars fan, but that's where your sci-fi ends?
I watched the original Dune.
Yeah.
Like way back, the 80s one, but I didn't really. Is that the one you're talking about?
Yeah.
No.
Or are you talking about the new Dune?
Well, Timothée Chalamet is the new Dune, but yeah, then my quote from "How can this be?" that was the original because it was cheesy as hell.
I didn't latch on to quotes from Dune. I'm sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
still stuck with Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels.
All right. We'll be better.
Okay.
A little later.
So, but then I realized it hit me like a 2-ton heavy thing that Charles drives for Ferrari, my team. And that instantly means he's Ethan Hunt from Mission Impossible. Tom Cruise is his doppelganger. Mission Impossible. Winning the championship? I think not. But I don't know. We got Lewis, man.
I mean, they did get rid of their best strategist by sending Carlos to Williams. So
That's right.
I don't know what's going to work out for Ferrari.
That's exactly right.
These are not new enters. Which enter is this?
These are not new enters. Hello. That's our best. That's our best strategist right there. He's gone.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. That was my first. Paul, who's your next one?
All right. I'm going to go with another stable in the Red Bull, another driver in the Red Bull stable. I'm going to go with the new kid on the block, Liam Lawson. And I'm going to assign him his doppelganger, who is Johnny Lawrence, who was the kid in the Karate Kid, the original one.
Sweep the leg, Paul. Sweep the leg.
It wasn't these lame ones. You know, and I was doing some research. Is he the bully? There's a lot of little
There's
stuff
a whole
out
video
there.
out there. If you see it on YouTube,
Ralph Macchio was the bully.
And the video I watched is like is really the Karate Kid the bully, and it takes Johnny Lawrence's side. It's actually hilarious. If you haven't seen that, go Google that.
It is pretty funny.
It's a compelling argument.
Yeah, it is.
It really is.
Compelling. It is. And the big thing is, and so one of the things I've got written down here is, will he do what his sensei Helmut Marko says?
Right.
Because that's ultimately what he was told to do.
Well, he has to, or you know what it is.
Goodbye, good luck, and good riddance.
Yeah, that's what happens if you don't.
Yeah, it's been easy for him so far. It's just, go out there and just be annoying to your teammates. But now if Max Verstappen's a teammate, will he abide by the rules?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Or just get a new sensei.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know. Will
right.
I should.
Is that
they should? They should have a long time ago.
I kind of like the fact that Helmut Marko's doppelganger is John Kreese. Sweep the leg. That's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
It's fitting and it's awesome.
It is fitting.
Yeah,
Yes,
I like
it's
it.
not just about looks. It's I dug deep.
You went a lot deeper than I did. I was so topical and surface. I was so elementary on mine. All right, Grace.
There's no rules.
There's no rules, Paul. Don't judge me.
Your doppelganger can be however you want to see it, right?
Yep.
Don't judge me because I have a pop socket.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I have to.
You already did. First of all,
Grievance 7.
On the show.
Oh my gosh!
Do you make little bracelets with the?
Yeah, with the loom, the little magic loom or whatever it is. I might. I don't know that I'm ready to divulge that.
Okay, fair enough.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll not
Let's move on,
that,
Paul. Grace, your second.
I'm like gobsmacked. But I'm a professional, and I shall.
Does that make Grace, if you're Paul Moadib, does that make Grace a Bene Gesserit? Does she have to drink the worm pee?
Can I just have the secret, like, whispers, like, and I make Paul do things?
Yeah, because you're the only one that could drink the worm pee and live, Grace.
Yeah,
we're guys, we
great.
can't.
That's just what I want to be known for.
Yeah, right. Bene Gesserit. Okay, go ahead, Grace. Sorry.
All right.
Number 2.
I don't know. Okay. Number 2, I went with Oscar Piastri, sticking with McLaren. And at first, I was like, my first initial pick is a deep dive. But now I feel like maybe that's what I should have stuck with. So my first pick was Ben Spies. Now, I felt that's a deep dive even for MotoGP fans, right? So,
yeah.
But I do think they have a very similar kind of affect. If you remember years ago, Yamaha had commercials where they paired like Colin Edwards, who's much more like a Danny Ricciardo, funny guy, with Ben Spies, who has zero affect. And so that was part of the humor, was that you had the really funny guy and the I am excited. All his emotions are the same. So Ben Spies is really who I think first of with Oscar Piastri. But I'm going to go with Kawhi Leonard because it seems a little bit more known to go with somebody in the NBA. So small forward for the LA Clippers, Kawhi Leonard, because I think they also both have, again, very flat affects. And when you watch them do like unboxed videos, it often looks like they're trying to figure out how to be humans. Is this what you do? Oh, I do. Oh, I laugh now. Ha, ha, ha. Right? Like, so, again, it's just sort of the way that personality comes across. And I think we're kind of used to it in other fields. It's just not something that happens really with athletes a lot. And so you're it kind of throws you off that Oscar's very like, this is my happy face. I am excited that we won today. But, I just think
it's the best moment of my life.
Exactly, right? I'm so excited to be here today. Right.
I'm really enjoying this.
And they really are. I mean, I work with a lot of economists and statisticians, and they all kind of have the Ben Stein-Bueller thing. And you're just like, oh, this is a celebration. They just always are that way. It's just kind of in celebrities and athletes. It's kind of catches you like, oh, could you smile? I am smiling.
Reminds me of did you guys ever see the YouTube comedy show? I don't know if it was Adult Swim or who it was, but it was the party mask. When you're really tired, you just want to sleep, but you have to go to a party and you put this mask on and there's a thing that it has pre-recorded messages. Sounds good. Sure. Thanks for coming.
Yeah.
Sounds good. And it's a mask that makes it look like you're awake, but you're really asleep. Anyway. All right. I digress. It's a had to be there thing.
A gift for introverts everywhere, for sure.
And that would be me.
How to have fun anytime, anywhere. Step 1. Go to ChumbaCasino.com.
ChumbaCasino.com. Got it.
Step 2. Collect your welcome bonus.
Come to Papa welcome bonus.
Step 3. Play hundreds of casino-style games for free.
That's a lot of games. All for free?
Step 4. Unleash your excitement.
Chumba Casino has been delivering thrills for over a decade. So claim your free welcome bonus now and live the Chumba life. Visit ChumbaCasino.com. VGW Group. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Okay. Is it my turn?
Yeah, it is your turn.
All right. Next up, keeping with Ferrari, I had Carlos Sainz. Now, instantly, it's easy to instantly go to Lorenzo Lamas and Renegade, right? But I didn't. I thought that's too easy. You have to think about this one.
Okay.
He's a gunslinger. He's he takes command.
No, it cannot be, Ricky.
See? Takes command.
Yeah.
So it can only be his doppelganger's got to be the El Mariachi from Desperado, Antonio Banderas.
Oh, Antonio Banderas.
Antonio Banderas from Desperado.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, because he always is seen with the Salma Hayek, and it's a beautiful woman, and so there you go.
Gotcha.
El Mariachi for me. All right, Paul.
Personally, I picked the chauffeur from Thunderbirds, Mr. Parker. I think he looked just like
Mr. Parker. Thunderbirds.
I feel like we should advise anybody, if you're in your car while listening to this, please pull over because it's going to involve some Googling.
It definitely does.
Right?
It definitely does.
It's like, who?
What are you talking about?
The Thunderbirds.
What's the Thunderbirds? Only the best TV series ever.
I thought you would have said
way better sci-fi than Dune. I'll tell you that.
I thought you would have said Doctor Who was the best, being British.
Oh yeah, but that's taking a downslide.
Oh, okay.
I did used to love Doctor Who.
Did you?
Sure, but he didn't look like Carlos Sainz.
No, of course not.
No.
Few do.
Few do.
My youngest daughter is quite partial to Carlos.
Wow, she's got good
Very
taste.
She does. Yeah. He's a handsome guy.
Yeah, he's got great hair.
Yeah.
I wish I had hair like that. Right?
Yeah. If I had hair, that's how I'd wear it.
Yeah.
All right, Paul.
All right. My turn. Okay. So I am going to everybody's most hated bully in Formula One, Max Verstappen. And I'm going to pick one of the most hated bullies in TV history, and that is Scott Farkas, or is it Scut Farkas?
Scott Farkas.
Of Christmas Story.
I swear he had yellow teeth.
Everyone loves to hate him.
Scott Farkas.
I mean, everyone's been throwing that bully word around to Max, and
Max is the Scott
came
Farkas
to my mind.
Yeah, it's awesome. I saw a meme the other day. You remember the little kid with the tam and the leather jacket? That was his henchman, Scott, and they would always be together.
Yeah.
Oh, I wasn't aware that Brian Johnson from AC/DC was in that movie when he was young. Oh, that was so good.
I mean, that is the only other person that wears a hat like that,
I know,
right? Like,
yeah.
I mean,
you look just like him. Scott Farkas.
That's great.
That's a great one. All right, Grace.
All right. He just
see Lando Norris just losing his crap on him.
He just laid there like a turtle. It was his only defense. A slug. He laid there like a slug.
It was his only
like
defense.
A slug. His only defense. All right. I wasn't prepared with my movie quotes. Right. All right. So next, I had Fernando Alonso. Who I picked next for my doppelganger.
Nice.
And, everybody's favorite old guy who thinks he's a young guy who may never retire from the sport, but, we'll see how that goes for him. And has a lot of love for Lance Stroll. So I'm going to say Lance
Who
Stroll.
doesn't?
Everyone does.
That's great.
Yeah, I mean, seriously, everyone.
He's got a lot. So anyway, I put Lance Stroll. Dang it. I put Fernando Alonso's doppelganger with the now retired Alicia Spargo. Again, going with the MotoGP. Because first of all, they're both, old guys. And by old, Alicia's 35 and Alonso's 43, right? So old guys, right? But they always keep things very spicy and interesting.
They do.
They're always the person whose quote you want to hear, or there's some sort of controversy. That's the person that's going to tell you the truth.
Yeah.
And,
controversy.
I think the sport is good to have that kind of somebody who's just going to be like, oh, you know what? I don't care. Here's what I think, right?
Yeah.
You need that. They are also both people I'd like to keep on my good side, especially, if I was a driver or a rider. It's not somebody whose anger I'd want directed in my my way. And they'll both defend like a lion. So I think there's a lot of common between those two. And we'll just have to wait to see if, Lance Stroll is the Jorge Martin to Fernando Alonso's Aleix. I don't know. There may be a lot of love there.
I wasn't sure where you were going. I almost thought you were going to say that Lance Stroll was his doppelganger.
Yeah, I did too, actually.
I mean, it might be his younger.
That actually may work.
From a past world champion to a future world champion.
Right.
That's what I've heard.
Right.
That's what I've heard.
Right.
Maybe we could go with that too. If people would like, I'm fine with Lance.
I was quite sure that was going. In my head, I was thinking, is she going to say Lance is Fernando's doppelganger? Does that work?
Would be better.
Yeah, all right. Fair enough. Let's see. My next one is Pierre Gasly.
All right.
Lucky boy.
Pierre Gasly. I like Pierre.
Yeah.
But, being Pierre, it's hard to break free from those typical French stereotypes. Oui. Why do you think I have this outrageous accent?
Dog knows not bite.
Yes.
Yes. Not bite.
And your father smelled of elderberries. So I thought, going along with the ultimate French race car driver stereotype, would be Jean Girard from Talladega Nights, which was about, they went so over the top French, stereotype. Yeah.
Do you like the
I'll
French?
kiss you on the mouth.
So I thought that would be his doppelganger, would be Jean Girard.
Nice.
Yeah.
Which is really kind of the opposite. So that's all the more I like it.
Yep.
Right?
It's kind of the opposite. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's quite the
Perfect
opposite.
doppelganger.
Exactly. All right, Paul, who's your next one?
All right, I'm up.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got Lewis.
All right.
Lewis.
Okay, and I've picked his doppelganger. And once again, I did a lot of research and found many layers.
Oh, yeah. There's a lot of layers to Lewis's onion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I picked Johnny Weir, the figure skater.
Yeah.
Fashion icon.
Fashion icon, just like Lewis.
Yep.
They're both multiple champions.
Yeah.
Yep.
Right? I think Lewis probably won a few more. They're both singers. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
Have you ever
Johnny
checked
song?
Johnny Weir's? Yeah,
No.
He took some time off from his figure skating in some things that I don't remember right now to record some music, which I haven't jumped in on yet. But
in your playlist,
I'm trying to hold it back before the weekend, But they're obviously big personalities,
very big
fashion icons.
Yeah.
And they paved the way for new ground.
Very outspoken.
Very outspoken. Yeah, you do not miss them walking in the room either way. Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah.
So there you go.
That's
Lewis
a good
Hamilton,
one.
Johnny Weir.
All right.
Like this.
That's right.
That's good. Grace, who did you have?
Okay. All right. So next I had Nico Hülkenberg.
The Hulk.
The Hulk. And so when I came up with this one, I really could have I was like, well, I could have killed I could have fed 2 birds with 1 scone. But instead, I just kept it to Nico Hülkenberg's doppelganger is Fernando Alonso.
Okay.
Bear with me here for a second.
I am. I'm
Works
waiting.
perfectly.
Moving on.
Now tell us how.
Grievance number 8. Paul not being patient. Because when I think of Nico Hülkenberg, right, it just keeps running back to Force India in all of its incarnations, right? He's been there 3 times. No matter what that team does, he can't seem to quit them. Alonso has the same problem with Renault in all of its incarnations. Will he go back to Renault? He might. Who knows? 4th time is a charm. It's possible. And so, they just can't let go of those teams. I think they're, of course, both solid drivers. I think that, I don't know that the top teams would take either of them. I think, but they're always on the list. I think you'd be a fool to not consider Alonso or Nico Hülkenberg for your team. And they both won Le Mans.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, that does work.
Thanks.
All right.
Yeah, that's right. Keep your slander for somebody else.
Near identical. Identical.
Again, I was going with the vibe.
Going with the vibe. It's got the vibe. Well, in keeping all things Haas, I had Kevin Magnussen.
All right.
Oh, Kev.
Son of Jan Magnussen.
Yes.
But actually, I picked his doppelganger as Uhtred, son of Uhtred in Netflix's Last Kingdom. Alexander Draymond, the actor? No? Anyone?
No.
For kids.
Is this sci-fi? Because I don't like sci-fi.
Anyone?
Humor?
I'm sorry. I may not have done the homework properly. Were we on page 12? I'm sorry. I think I did I did next week's
my
homework.
postman. Yeah. It's my postman. Identical.
Come on, Uhtred, son of Uhtred, Last Kingdom. No, it's Paul. You should be all over that damn show because it's your brethren, it's your countrymen. It's at the very birth of England.
Okay.
Just because it's English doesn't mean
Paul is all things English. Everything English is
There's a lot of bad English TV, I'll tell you that.
Yeah, well, but no, this is actually good. It's about when the Vikings come over and then the English and it's about one of your kings, Paul.
When the Vikings come over and take our women and take our land.
Pretty much.
Right.
Yeah, pretty much until they went far enough north and they thought we're going to leave the Scottish bastards alone. They're crazy. Yes. So so there you go. That was mine. I guess you'll have to Google that one and figure that one out.
I mean, maybe we're all just picking up movie recommendations, new TV shows, right? Like there's some angle
It's always informative.
Right.
Yeah.
It is. Right. It's informative because there will be a listener saying, "Oh, The Last Kingdom on Netflix. Tell me more, Todd."
I want to watch that. That's right.
That sounds like a series I want to watch.
How does this relate to Formula One? Yeah.
And since Siri's listening to all of this all the time, it will affect whatever's in your algorithm.
Because Kevin is a Viking. He's vicious. He's brutal. He's, He
is.
He's awesome, in that way. He makes his car 40 foot wide whenever you're trying to pass him. He's Kevin. He's an aggressive Dane. He
definitely has Viking overtones. I'll give him that.
He does. All right. That's who I picked, Paul. Who do you have one to your last one?
All right. For my last one, and this is a big one because the doppelganger I've chosen is very high up in my...
It is Ryan here, and I have a question for you. What do you do when you win? Like, are you a fist pumper? A woohooer, a hand clapper, a high fiver. If you want to hone in on those winning moves, check out Chumba Casino. Choose from hundreds of social casino style games for your chance to redeem serious cash prizes. There are new game releases weekly, plus free daily bonuses. So don't wait. Start having the most fun ever at ChumbaCasino.com.
Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
What would I call it? People I admire in the world, right? So I've got George Russell as Michael Caine.
You're only supposed to blow the bloody doors off.
I love Michael Caine, and there's not much you can compare to Michael Caine, but
yeah, Michael Caine's great.
Obviously, we've seen a lot of they're the same height, for instance, but they're both tall, lean. They wear smart suits. They're dashingly handsome, of course, but not necessarily in a typical way.
No,
I'd say,
and in an unorthodox way.
Yep, and they both like to lead.
Yep.
Right, we got George, lead of the drivers, up against the FIA. They're willing to take on a fight like MBS.
Yes.
Right.
And Max.
Always. And Max.
Yeah.
Yep. So George won't back down from fighting, neither will Michael Caine.
Right. And you're talking about Mr. Brown, young Michael Caine.
Young Michael Caine.
Yes.
Oh, yes. Ipcris File. And
yes.
Italian Job. And,
yes.
Not blame it on Rio, Michael. Well,
very specific.
Not old Michael Caine when he was in Batman.
He jumped the shark when he got a perm and was in Blame It on Rio. But before that,
Blame It on Rio. Oh, that was a horrible movie.
It was
terrible. It's horrible. This idea.
Or Jaws 3D.
Yeah,
this time it's
horrible. This
personal.
Idea.
Yeah, just I act with my eyes. Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Yes. Okay.
But as I read in his book, he does all the bad movies to give him all the monies to keep him the lifestyle, so he can do the roles that he wants to do for less money.
That's what I tell people.
I was going to say, that's my new line, too. I do this crappy job so that I can do those other jobs that I want to do for less pay.
I quote my daughter, my youngest daughter, when she was about 6 or something, and my oldest daughter said something, and my youngest daughter looks at her and goes, "That's what I say when I'm lying."
Ouch. Under the bus.
So
that
good.
Is great.
It's so good.
Oh,
Leave it to
that
Addie.
is very good.
Yes.
Yep.
All right. Grace, your final?
All right. So my vinyl was Valtteri Bottas. And I went for his...
Greek statue, perhaps?
No.
Statue of Michael?
Not what I went with. They both have great butts, I guess. I don't know. This is not what I went with.
Okay.
Greek statue. Have you seen a Greek statue?
I don't know. I sure. Anyway, I went with Cam Newton as his doppelganger because they both went through a bit of a reinvention and reimagining of themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that Valtteri Bottas has something to aspire to. There's some fashion in his future if he follows the pathway of Cam Newton. And you could just be yourself, support yourself. I think people underestimate both of them. And I think that now we're kind of seeing who they are. And I think they should
Do they both have their own calendar?
I'm sure Cam Newton has a calendar.
Okay.
I don't know that Lewis Hamilton's ever received it as a gift, but I'm sure he does have a calendar. So,
Nice.
Yeah. Although he's probably fully clothed.
Nice.
Just guessing.
I would imagine.
Whatever. You know.
Yeah. Okay. Well, my final
Life is full
driver.
of disappointments.
Oh, isn't that the truth? My final driver is Esteban Ocon.
All right.
Oh, boy. Wait for a fight here.
Yeah, I know. It was a tough one. I had to give this a lot of thinking. And you know who I came up with? I came up with Jesus Quintana. Do you know who that is?
No. So, yeah, at least he's consistent.
Okay.
Is he like a chess player or something?
No, that's the character's name. The actor's name is John Turturro from Big Lebowski.
I know who John Turturro is.
You remember his character in Big Lebowski at the bowling alley in the all purple suit, Jesus? And he was all getting in their face and, you know, and confronting them and all that stuff. You remember that? Yeah. So that's who I thought was a good Esteban.
Okay.
I know.
Abrasive character.
Yes. My picks sucked. I thought they were good. They just
at least you have your
sucked.
puppet thing to bring as a highlight.
This show. Wow.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Paul's resolution to be a kinder, gentler person out the window on day 6.
No one has ever said those words about me.
Oh, my goodness.
What do we have this old drafty house? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Wow.
So
You don't take on Ferrari and Lamborghini being a nice guy.
Boy, he's gotten vicious.
Yeah.
Guess so.
All right. Well,
Let's get myself ready for the season.
let me rewrite one of my grievances then.
Grievance number 9.
Grievance number 1.
Paul.
Who let him on this show?
Yes. So, and then Paul also had the great idea. Why don't we pick out 4, 5, 12 of our grievances of F1 this past season? And so we thought we would do that. And here now we share those with you. And we're going to start.
It's my gift to you.
These 2 droids. Both are hardworking and will serve you well.
See, that wasn't in Dune.
No, that was Star Wars, and it's an exact quote.
Yes.
Well
done.
Okay. So we'll start off with Grace first. Ladies first.
Oh, sure.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. All right. I'm going to start with my biggest grievance is the 2024 schedule. There's been too many races, too many back-to-backs.
Too many sprints?
Well, I guess.
Come on. You blew my other grievance.
Oh.
All right. Too many races, too many back-to-backs. The season should always start in Australia and not just in 2025. It should always end in Brazil. Miami sucks. Get it off my calendar. One long break is bad enough. We don't need 2. And feels like temperature's a joke, especially in Las Vegas where it gets cold at night. Haven't you people ever heard of NOAA? Better schedule.
I think that was like 20 grievances.
It all fits under the schedule.
It does.
It does all fit into the schedule.
I fully agree. And isn't there going to be more next year?
Yeah, probably. And they'll still probably put in 3 breaks. And
so can you include in the grievances where they endlessly talk about the longest season ever? Reminding you that it's the longest season ever?
Yes.
Again, I don't leave my house. I sit on the couch and I'm exhausted by the season. I don't know how the drivers, the people, the fact, I don't know how you, I don't know.
I don't either.
Travel around with them. I'm exhausted and I don't do anything. So, I don't know.
Just looking at the team exhausts me.
Yeah. Yeah. It is tough.
It is.
Yeah.
That is tough.
Really tough.
All right, Paul, what's your first grievance?
All right. Now, everyone always wants us to drop it, but I'm never, ever, ever going to drop it. DRS.
Yes.
They promised us, Todd.
They did.
They promised us.
They did.
We're going to bring out these new rules. DRS is going to be a thing of the past. It's going to be pure racing back again, kids.
Yep.
And what do we get? Nothing. We get more DRS. We get double DRS. We get triple DRS.
Yep.
More of it.
And now they're having to use DRS just to make the cars go faster when they get the electric engines in them.
Yep.
Good grief.
Yeah.
When we said less DRS, we actually meant more DRS.
Right.
Yes. And what can we do about it? Absolutely nothing. Except watch about half the passes on the track that mean nothing.
I know.
Right.
I mean, I thought this was a motorsport, not American politics. Come on.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know,
figure it out. You're the smartest motorsport people in the world, supposedly.
I know.
Obviously not when we see them on TV, but
I don't know.
they should have fixed it.
Ross Braun couldn't save us. What choice do we have?
Yeah, that's true.
And any of the races where DRS wasn't enabled yet ended up having genuine passes. It was more exciting. You know, now they just, okay, I'm going to follow around, go to the next DRS zone. And then they got the old, well, there's 2 DRS zones, so you don't want to pass them on the first one, you pass them on the second one. Ha, ha, ha. Right. Gotcha. Oh, that is strategy to the nth degree.
You having fun, kids? Yeah, now it's a race to the DRS deployment rather than a race to pass people.
Or it's not a race. You want to brake before you hit the line and let them over the line first. And then, it's just silly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm going to make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you want to get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather, now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.
That's your first one. My first grievance. You ask for miracles, I give you MBS.
Oh.
There it is.
There it is.
You asked for miracles, I give you the FIA. Ho, ho, ho. Now I have a machine gun. Yeah. MBS and the FIA, where to start? The bravado, the recent statute changes that limits oversight over the president, the lack of consistency, the lack of, all the leadership, main leadership, all leaving, firing race directors. It just, Eddie Everywhere is just worn me slick.
What does he have to do to get fired?
I don't know. There's got to be, because you remember when Max had the whole Spankgate, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then the council did have a vote of no confidence for him. Now he won it, but they did immediately call for a vote of confidence. I don't know why the member clubs or the FIA isn't calling for a no confidence for this guy.
It's crazy. It's like buffoonery in leadership is like a line that's going all around the world, and he's just kind of part of the problem.
I know.
I don't get it.
I don't know why Domenicali hasn't stepped in, right? Because anything that happens, it's going to hurt them. It's going to hurt the FOM, not FIA, right? They're the ones that are going to lose the money. Like, what happens if the GPDA decides whatever? I don't know what they do. They strike? Do they not race? Do they, does George Russell just go, that's it, I'm out? That only hurts the FOM. It doesn't hurt the FIA. So I don't know. That's where I think that it's if I was Domenicali, I'd be sweating it.
Yeah, I mean the money horse isn't the FIA. The FIA is living off of Formula One's revenue stream.
Right.
Absolutely.
So
but Domenicali has become a bit of a politician, spokesman. Yeah. He's a bit weak-kneed, I feel. I say put in Alex Wirtz.
Oh, I'm here for that, 100%.
That guy
I love that.
would get my vote.
Put in
Just
Carlos
like Ari
Sainz
Martin should have had it all those years ago.
Put in Carlos Sainz Sr.
Yeah. But he'd vote for, every racetrack that Carlos
is good at.
That he's good at. Let's just do that 3 times a year. Barcelona 3 times.
Yeah, Barcelona 3 times. It's just I've had it with the whole MBS FIA thing. It's
ridiculous.
And we're heading into a new season, and this is what we got.
Highlight of the season was Oliver Piastri.
Oh, man.
Oscar Piastri pushing him aside. Like, what are you doing?
Off me.
Get out of my way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The drivers hate him. The team bosses hate him. Domenicali doesn't like him.
Right, but why is he still there?
I don't know. I don't get it either. I would have a vote of no confidence, and I would put somebody in there that teams and drivers can respect. All right, that was my first one. Paul, what's your next one? Or Grace, sorry.
All right.
Grace.
Yes, Grace.
It doesn't matter. Sure. It's had to be on my list somewhere. Red Bull. My grievance
just
is
in general
with Red Bull. Yeah. I've never been a fan of this team. I don't like how they run their organization, but I'm officially over it. Christian Horner, over it. Helmo, over it. I've had enough of doing their second drivers wrong and then them acting like this is some strength that they, screw over their drivers over and over again. If your team can only have one successful driver, maybe it's you, Red Bull, and not the other drivers. Build a car that's more well-rounded, more drivable, and stop with the slander and focus on your own issues for once. Red Bull, grievance. I'm done with them.
They're done.
Peace out. Oof.
They're dead to her.
It's done.
That's right.
Yeah.
She didn't even buy a T-shirt.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Not outside of the track or inside the track.
No, not even that naked Christian Horner one.
Ugh.
Oh, in the GP2 days?
Yeah.
Golly.
I can't remember who his sponsor was, but that was something. Yeah.
If there's anybody
it got Ginger Spice's attention anyway.
Is there anybody still listening to this podcast after that? Like, whoa.
I don't know.
I hope nobody's driving.
Yes. Because now they're searching it out. Christian Horner, F2 naked.
No, I don't need that. Don't Google that, people, please.
It's
all right.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Paul?
Track limits madness.
Oh, yes. Amen.
I mean, it just got worse and worse. Now, I think they, in some of the circuits, actually found a fairly good solution.
A little gravel strip. Yep.
But you still have to find a solution of throwing gravel all over the track when someone goes out of track limits. But so it's just mind-numbing. Just the penalties, track limits. It's just get on with it and let them race.
I know.
Or build a track that they can't. The track limits on. When you get to a track that you don't have track limits problems, they don't hit stuff.
Wow.
So fix it, right? And as I said, I think they did come up with the best solution they've come up with so far.
I agree.
Is those strips of gravel, but just seeing them bounce around and throwing gravel in on the track also, I'm not much of enjoyment of that either.
See, we never enjoyed the Villeneuve Arnoux battle.
That's right. It never would have happened.
Never would have happened. They've been black flagged. Done.
Yeah, both. Yeah.
Yep.
I should do those things like they do for pigeons on buildings, right? The little spikes. Yeah.
Yes.
Put those on the side of your track. You won't
there
run
you
over
go,
those.
spikes. I mean, I always said, just put something that's way slippier than
the tarmac,
the surface they're driving on, and it becomes a detriment. As long as it's detriment, you can drive 10 miles out there if you want.
Yeah.
But if it's not a positive for your forward movement, then they'll stop driving on it, honestly.
Right. Okay. My second grievance is the Red Bull hate.
Love it.
It's the Red Bull hate. Now, I say this as a Ferrari fan.
It's going to get ugly.
I know.
I'm ready.
I say this as a Ferrari fan. I'm stumped about the hatred the Red Bull team got during 2024, given all the tumult that happened at that team. I tend to look beyond the team boss or drivers. I think of all the men and women at that team who work for that team tirelessly and all the hard work they did to win the championship for Mac, despite all the wheels coming off and losing all the key players and Adrian Newey and Wheatley and all those guys. And despite all that, they kept their head down and they delivered the championship. I mean, maybe you're not a fan of Lando, but hating the team, McLaren, because Lando's there, would be a little harsh, and so I think it's also what was the number, Paul? Well, it was like 40 some odd % of the entire grid came from their junior program.
Yeah, something like that. Something crazy.
So I don't know. As I said, I'm a Ferrari fan, and
the other 40 ended up having to retire from racing because it destroyed their careers.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, we want to talk about that.
Yeah, that's what Grace was talking about.
Positive.
Yeah. It was the other destroyed lives of Helmo. Yes, but anyway, I think the team did a great job of delivering the championship for Max, and the men and women of that team had a lot of weight on their shoulders to keep pressing forward, given all the all this stuff going on in the boardroom. And so kudos to the men and women who saw it out and worked hard to deliver that. So the Red Bull hate, it was a grievance of mine.
No, they deserve it. It's fine. Not the people at the factory. I like them. They're fine.
Yeah.
They're lovely people, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But they're not the ones that are
convincing,
trackside.
I think.
It doesn't sound convincing.
No,
I don't know.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, great.
The tea lady is a piece of work.
He deserves it.
It's jerks. I don't know, Red Bull. Bunch of jerks.
She drinks Monster Energy drinks. Anyway, all right, Grace, you're next.
Well, I feel like I'm on such a roll here.
You
I
are.
might as well just go with my next one, which is, and I would like to preface, unfounded Yuki slander. There is Yuki slander, and that's fine. But it's the unfounded Yuki slander that I'm not okay with.
Okay, which one's unfounded?
All the ones you say, Paul, are completely unfounded.
About him being a mediocre driver with bad feedback and bad discipline.
Yeah, those are all unfounded.
Yeah,
100%.
I just made that stuff up.
Yeah.
Those are all unfounded.
Fair enough.
No, I think mostly it's more that Red Bull is shaping this narrative. I mean, we spent a lot of time on this on the last pod that, I get it. He's there because of Honda. I don't know. He's going to end up getting screwed over. Then just get rid of him already. Right? I don't disagree with that. That you two make that point that, you should have got rid of him 4 years ago. Fine, get rid of him. That's not unfounded if you have a reason for that. But this just like, we're just dragging him around here. Get rid of it. Let him have a life somewhere else. And I'm not saying, I don't think he's God's gift of Formula One. He's not the next, Michael Schumacher. He's not even the next David Coulthard. I'm just saying, keep your slander founded when it comes to you.
There is no other David Coulthard.
I didn't have a.
There can only be one.
David Coulthard doppelganger. I could not come up with one. No.
Yeah.
That would have been great.
Poor Yuki.
Cheap, lying, no good, rotten, four-flushing, low-life, snake-licking, dirt-eating,
There's
inbred,
Yuki.
overstuffed, ignorant, blood.
You know how it goes.
Yep. Team building.
Team building.
Mm-hmm.
Red Bull, they're good. They're fine.
I guarantee you, not one of those radio outbursts would live to see the very next morning at Heart of Racing.
That's for sure.
That would not ever happen.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yep.
You appreciate the position you're in, and you treat people with respect.
Yeah, exactly.
Step into the world of power, loyalty, and luck.
I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
With family, cannolis, and spins mean everything.
Now, you wanna get mixed up in the family business.
Introducing The Godfather at ChumbaCasino.com. Test your luck in the shadowy world of The Godfather slot.
Someday, I will call upon you to do a service for me.
Play The Godfather now at ChumbaCasino.com.
Welcome to the family.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Absolutely.
All right.
But you have a pop spinner on your phone, and then it's their game.
Then if you got a pop socket on your phone, it is both barrels.
Just the word alone.
I know. It is both barrels. I mean, that right there will get you fired at Heart of Racing. Right there.
Right.
You show up with one of those.
You leave that stuff at the gates.
That's right. Son. They're banned there.
Don't bring your pop sockets in here. You're not welcome.
No. They're
welcome.
banned. Yeah, I know how they go. All right, Paul, what's your next one?
All right. Speaking of David Coulthard, stupid commentary questions and interviews and lack of truly interesting information on the race rather than the famous people roaming around. I have had the displeasure of tuning into several different feeds, right? I jump around from F1 TV and then occasionally I get the Sky, and honestly, they've both got some awful parts to it. I think the Brundle thing is got very, very old. That thing was done about 4 years ago, and it's painful to watch Martin Brundle, a guy that was an incredible driver, being brought down to the level of just jumping around with a microphone and finding famous people to be pissed off at him.
Yeah,
and just the commentaries during the race most of it is completely uninformational, and it's just kind of gossip or whatever you want to call it. And the pre and the post, they're just goofing around. They're not getting down to actually the thing I loved about Formula One is the sport, the craft of driving a race car, but the technology and the layers of strategy and putting the whole thing together. And they don't touch on any of that stuff anymore. It's just common denominator, which kind of goes into one of my grievances was the Drive to Survive group. And it just seems everything's just brought down to a very simple, just entertaining TMZ type approach. And I don't like it at all. Just like when I'm watching football, I sometimes like to watch it in Spanish because I can get away with it from all the stuff is just irritating words coming out of people's mouths. Honestly, maybe I'll start watching Spanish Formula One feed. I don't know, but none of them bring a lot to the table. There are some great people in there, but there's not many.
Yeah. I think Sky. I agree. I think Sky's sort of lost the plot. If I'm honest, Martin and Crofty do okay, and I like Ant, but they seem to sort of lost the plot for me too. So I don't know. What do I know? Is it my turn?
Yeah.
Yes.
I do recommend watching the races in Spanish. I've done that. And
yes.
The other thing, too, is that you actually have to watch them, right? Because you can't just wait for the intonation to go, like that, right? Like, because also because the Spanish announcer, everything has like a high intonation to it, whether it's good or bad, right?
Yeah.
So I do recommend that to people that, then that way you actually have to watch it and pay attention and think about it. And you can't just like rely on other people watching it and you're doing something else. So it's not baseball. You could actually watch it.
There you go. Yeah. Top tip from Grace.
There you go.
All right.
Baseball.
My next grievance is the whole Cadillac GM Andretti issue.
Oof.
Oh, it's a good one.
I found the entire argument against Andretti entering F1 to be patronizing as hell. And when Greg Maffei then left and Michael left, and then all of a sudden F1 comes out and embraces them and starts bragging about the breadth and depth of the team and organization and what a big benefit they're going to be to F1, which is the complete opposite of what they said for months about how they didn't see that they were adding anything. They weren't bringing anything to the table. They couldn't show how or understand or even conceive how they would increase revenue for Formula One. And yet all that just instantly disappears. I mean, folks, that is so patronizing for anyone practically who could fog a mirror. And I find that astounding that everybody just gave it that entire situation a free pass. I mean, it's I'm not saying what they actually ended up deciding is correct. And what they actually end up saying about General Motors joining Formula One is correct. Everything they did before was BS. And that was bad PR. That was bad positioning, bad brand equity. You're misleading your customers. It does brand damage and harms your trustworthiness as a brand. And I'm sorry, it's a bad move. Now, they ended up making the right decision and saying the right things, of course. That was all obvious. It's what we were all thinking at the early stages, that it was an obvious choice and it would be a real benefit to Formula One. But they came out and just told us that we were wrong. I mean, it's just, it's dumb. Anyway, I'll get off my soapbox.
Michael Andretti was not on my grievance list, but now that you
probably should have been.
I was only 5. I was limited. I couldn't fit him in somewhere else. Like,
I know.
Red Bull. I hate Helmo. I hate Christian Horner. And Michael Andretti, I hate you too. He has nothing to do with Red Bull, but, I had to put him in somewhere.
Right.
So,
all right. What's your next one, Grace?
My next one is, I have the cost cap because I had more than 5, but I guess with overlap. So I'm going to go with the cost cap as my other grievance.
Okay.
As another grievance, because I think similar to DRS in the sense of like, we just keep being told, wait, the cost cap, you'll see, it'll work out. It will make the smaller teams better. It'll make the big teams suffer. It doesn't, and it hasn't. I mean, it does keep the smaller teams solvent. It does allow them to stay in the sport, but I don't know. If you look at something like MotoGP where they have concessions and there's actually ways that Yamaha and Honda can continue to be better and Ducati is held back from being better, there's nothing like that in Formula One in any sense of like holding back the top teams so that the bottom teams can succeed in the same way.
Maybe they should spread the money more evenly anyway, and not give people special like Ferrari another $100 million.
That's important though.
I didn't put that on my grievance.
No, but you're
That's
right.
A long-standing grievance.
You're right, Grace. Oh, it's supposed to make the little teams more competitive. Then you got James Vowles over here saying, hey, we're using a 1947 drill press, and we're still working on cotton gins over here. I mean, for crying out loud, they act like they don't have a pot to pee in.
That's right.
So that didn't work.
And there is money on the table. They just choose to stack it up at the top.
Yeah, I guess so.
There's ways of getting around that, right?
Yeah.
So I think the cost cap, again, it's just, talking into a paper bag, trying to make us feel like, it's parity. It'll be fine. It's not fine. It's dumb. You're just,
I mean, the distribution of wealth is not obviously even on a sliding scale.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we talked about if you finish 7th or 6th in the championships, that's $30 million. It shouldn't really be that way.
Right.
The beauty of winning championship should be purely winning the championship, not because all of a sudden you got $100 million more than everybody else.
Yeah.
And definitely they shouldn't be giving concessions to historical teams. Williams used to get a lot of that.
They did.
I think it's probably run out of time now, right? So now they don't get that money.
Well, there's only 3 teams that have been there forever: Ferrari, McLaren, and Williams.
Right. So they still get it as long as they're successful. Williams, I know, used to, but I think there's some kind of timeline. If you're not at a certain level for long, you kind of fall out of that window.
That does ring.
There's money on the table that could help the other teams.
Yeah, and
on the lower level.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and they just choose not to.
Yeah,
and
right. They don't want it that way.
No, and the thing is that like, you know, the drivers don't count, your top 3 employees don't count. Adrian Newey's a contractor, so he doesn't count. Right. Like, there's all these things that, like, who does it apply to? Oh, Todd's friends back at the factory. That's who this applies to, right? And so they're the people that are getting dicked over in all this, not the people that I get mad at Red Bull.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right.
You're on my list of grievances.
Yep. All right, Paul. What's your next one?
All right. So it's choose your own adventure here. So I got 3. So we got Drive to Survive Syndrome, Sprint Races, or pointless screen graphics and predictions.
Oh, I like the last one. I hate that. I hate that. So because we'll literally be watching a race and I will pause it and be like, what is this graph telling me?
I know.
Yes.
What is this trying to tell me? What
I know.
Like
who is throwing this out there?
Yes.
Yeah.
And where are they getting this from?
Yeah.
What does this even
WS.
mean?
Yeah.
Well, then it's gotta be right, isn't it?
It's got to be right.
But
it's not.
The whole point of a graphic is to visually convey information that is hard to understand, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so if I have to pause it and I'm like, so this all of a sudden I'm Charlie Day with the things in the string, right? Like, what's going on here? If I have to think that hard about it, your graphic sucks. It's not helping, right? Like,
right.
I already have live timing and scoring because you don't show me that, which would actually be useful. So I have to have live timing and scoring, and I have to have my dots so that I can understand what's going on in this race because you don't tell me any of these things.
Yeah.
Instead, you give me this stupid graphic.
It's a multi-screen experience, Grace.
That's got 88% chance of being wrong. So it's like, it's just in the way at that point.
It's like a weather person.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I don't know.
I agree.
So I agree. That's my top.
That's a good one.
Those 3. Although all 3 of those are definitely grievances.
Yeah, for sure. They're all good.
It is Ryan Seacrest here. There was a recent social media trend which consisted of flying on a plane with no music, no movies, no entertainment. But a better trend would be going to ChumbaCasino.com. It's like having a mini social casino in your pocket. Chumba Casino has over 100 online casino-style games, all absolutely free. It's the most fun you can have online and on a plane. So grab your free welcome bonus now at ChumbaCasino.com. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply.
Better than mine. That's it. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, I guess. Let's see. My other one is Alpine's confusion. For a works team, to see what happened to Alpine in 2024 was bothersome. And yet there is a glimmer of hope in how they finished the season. So that's good. But the firing of leaders, hiring of a leader, firing of that leader, hiring another leader, then maybe firing that leader, then we got that. And then it's this whole roller coaster of just French confusion about what they want. And then the coup de grace, pardon my French, is that in 2024, they decided to say, but we don't want to use our own engine. What? You're Renault. Yes, but we don't want to use a Renault engine.
What are you doing here?
We're going to use a Mercedes.
Literally, what are you trying to achieve?
I'm sorry, guys. I've lost the plot. Plot.
Renault never had a plot to lose.
Yeah.
This has been a problem at every incarnation.
Well, they certainly never had a plan.
No.
Yeah. No. Well, they said they did.
I don't even think they had a concept of a plan.
Their plan was always, remember? Renault's plan was always 3 years ahead.
3 years ahead.
Got a 3-year plan to start fighting for the world championship, and that was in 2003.
Right.
We're still waiting for it. I don't.
Yeah.
That team's a disaster.
Yeah. It's just the whole thing is confusing. And here's the point. It's not that I'm beating them up. I want them to do well. Mm-hmm. They're a works team. They're a historic mark in Formula One. They've dominated world championships. They've had some of the greatest drivers of all time. It shouldn't be this way for Renault, and I hate it for them. So, and I want them to paint their damn car in French racing blue. Damn.
And have Gauloises down the side of it.
Yes, have Gauloises down the side. Yeah. And stop treating Alain Prost like crap. Yes. So there you go. All right, Grace, next one.
All right. So my last one was Ricciardo as a Bills fan. while I love him as a Bills fan, I think it's a great match. Good doppelganger there. Ricciardo is a Bills fan. But you know what? It's the Bills, and I don't have to like them, and I don't want to like them because they're both against, the Steelers and the Ravens. So it's the Bills. I guess my grievance is with the Bills, but I'm trying to make it Formula One related, so I went with
Fair
Ricciardo.
enough. It's a stretch, but it works.
I got to do what I can do here.
Yeah, I like
Michael Andretti. I hate them. I hate him too. Is he a Bills fan?
Probably
that
is.
Would be great.
Definitely.
He's probably good.
Yeah, and he likes DRS.
I mean, he's probably an Eagles fan. I mean,
probably
being from that part of Pennsylvania, he's probably an Eagles fan.
You and Michael are both Pennsylvania citizens.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yes.
But from different parts of the state.
Very different parts of the state.
He's from the Eagles part, and I'm from the Steelers part.
You're from the delightful part of Pennsylvania.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
I agree.
Lovely.
All right, Paul.
Yikes. Okay, choose your own adventure.
Okay.
Here we go. So it's Drive to Survive Syndrome or sprint races.
Well, I'm going to go
like?
Drive to Survive Syndrome.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
So obviously the show sucks now.
Yes, I can't even watch it. I didn't even finish the last season.
I mean, it's worse than Housewives of Atlanta at this point, where everyone's just, got their feathers out so they can have a little catchphrase that they practice for 4 days.
I blame Gunther for that.
It's like fake battles. Just trying to be the smart, funny person that's going to. It's a TV reality show that I don't want to be a part of anymore. But I loved it at the beginning. It was so good. And it got inside, but then everyone became so aware. Mm-hmm. And I feel that, Formula One has taken its success lightly. Like, it's successful because it's Formula One, and it's always going to be now successful because they're doing the same things. And I think the show, if it starts waning, as all shows do, right? Even people stop watching Seinfeld eventually. That going to bring down the house again, and all their posturing is going to prove, very bad for the sport.
Yeah.
And so just kind of creating the sport for the Drive to Survive, when fan, I think is a mistake. I think Drive to Survive was popular at the beginning because it got to the nux of what makes Formula One cool, and then everyone started to expanding on that and trying to make it something else that it's actually not.
Yep. Yeah, I agree with it. I agree with that. I do. It's almost become a caricature of itself in a way, and I don't know if it is. I guess you got to ask yourself: is that so? This is a marketing spend, and you've got to ask yourself: is this, for lack of a better term, this marketing activation, the expense of creating this series and doing that, while it was huge for Formula One, is it still continuing to elevate the brand and build the brand as a quality product and a trustful and a product you can trust, and to really build those strong relationships in long term with the customers that you're going after? And I would argue I don't know that it is now. I think it's like anything else when it gets to be that successful initially, and then you get a lot of grandstanding and a lot of a lot of people, I don't know, agendas and different things start to happen, and it can lose the plot of what made it successful as a marketing effort first, and then as a documentary second.
I mean, I think it definitely generated true blue Formula One fans because it did open the door.
Agreed.
And a door that no one knew was there until it got there. And I definitely think there is, but I also think there's a danger of following that route consistently. And Formula One is Drive to Survive, or is Drive to Survive Formula One?
Right.
I think it would be interesting. So I was talking to a friend about, he's like, what's the problem with Drive to Survive? It's like, well, they have a show about tennis, right? And he's like, oh yeah, I hate that show. Right. Because tennis is your sport. Right. Yeah. I watch that and I'm like, oh, tennis, that's great. I don't know crap about tennis. Everything I learned about tennis, I learned from Wii Tennis, right? So I think that's the thing, right? Like
that was great though. Wii tennis.
I was really good at it. Now, like, are you trying to get the anoraks, the three of us, into something, or are you still just going for that lowest common denominator? Because that fan isn't going to stick. And don't we all know that from NASCAR? Didn't they already do this? Like, how many sports have to go through this sort of like? Because when you really get into it, it's 2 hours. You're going to sit here and watch 2 hours of this race? Not if you just think, oh, George is funny, or Carlos has good hair, or, Gunther Steiner is going to say something, that's just not what's going to make you watch a race for 2 hours or go to the track. So,
Gunther could have been another good one. Just him alone.
Yeah.
Well, I figured when you brought up people asking questions in interviews that shouldn't be, like, he makes Felipe Massa look good as a post-race question asker. So.
You makes me nearly want David Valsecchi back in.
Right. Exactly.
So Paul tennis, it had to be really exciting.
I should have just picked doppelgangers that would annoy Paul. That would have been
that one would have been a good one.
How soon before Paul cracks? What the hell?
Oh, that one would have been a good one.
Yeah.
Yep. I just had some honorable mentions for my last one. Papaya Rules, Logan Sargent, Nick DeVries, Daniel Ricciardo, Sergio Perez re-signing Sergio Perez, which was perplexing. Just driver-related ones that I thought were bothersome.
Yeah, from a season when no lineups changed, it was all changed this year.
Yeah, it was. Mid-season. You had
it didn't even make it a whole year.
Changing drivers mid-season, and it just I don't know. It just got all very confusing and unfortunate. So there you go. Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that does it.
Woo.
We're done.
Okay.
I'm going to hit the end button. We're done with the podcast, but I hope you enjoyed our doppelgangers. Doppelganger! Sorry. And our grievances. We enjoyed doing them. Thanks, Paul, for the idea. Enjoyed it.
I like how you said it like you were shot. Doppelganger!
Doppelganger! Next season! Yes.
And of course, we did come up with, some great gift ideas for people in the future. The little pop socket thing. I mean, I don't know how that's.
Get that right there.
Yeah, got to sell that. Yeah. Sell that baby. People are going to want to buy that.
Oh, does anybody have pop sockets in their phone? Maybe I should make those available.
There you go.
Maybe I will. I'll get my little magic loom with the rubber bands and make bracelets for everyone.
Yeah. Bedazzle everything too. That'd be good.
Maybe I'll just get on and start dropping the F-bomb. If it works for Gunther, it'll work for me. Why not?
Why not?
Anyway, all right. Well, that does it. But we will be back next week. Don't worry. We'll be back next week for more fun and frivolity.
Some shenanigans. We'll come up with something.
We will. And but
suggestions. Just in the comments. Just leave suggestions.
If you're watching this on YouTube, smash that like button and that bell icon. Why not? If you're listening to this as a podcast, then share it with people. Give us a good rating. Show us some love. We'd appreciate it. It's been 17 years and over 1,000 podcasts, folks. We take it seriously, obviously. So give us some love. That would appreciate it. But anyway, we will be back next week to do it all over again and talk about Formula One. But until that time, this is Todd, a.k.a. Negative Camber, saying so long.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over. I don't feel I've got to prove at all. I don't really want to prove anything. I started as an amateur with no idea or no intention of becoming world champion. I was curious to find out what it was like to drive a car fast, to drive on a certain circuit, to drive a certain type of car.
Hey, it's Ryan Seacrest. Life comes at you fast, which is why it's important to find some time to relax. A little you time. Enter Chumba Casino. With no download required, you can jump on anytime, anywhere for the chance to redeem some serious prizes. So treat yourself with Chumba Casino and play over 100 online casino-style games, all for free. Go to ChumbaCasino.com to collect your free welcome bonus. Sponsored by Chumba Casino. No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply.